Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm back. Well, not that you would know that I was off from recording any videos. Fortunately, I did had prepared videos ahead of time. I usually tend to stay ahead of time just in case of situations like this. So this way, at least my schedule it's kind of there, and I do have videos. I'm not sure if I'll be able to catch back up and have those 4 videos ahead of time, but I will try. Anyway, I was basically busy with doing some renovations in my little office that I have in my home where I pretty much work and do my videos. I finally managed to set up a permanent corner where I record these videos, and I don't have to keep on taking it down and putting it up every time I have to do a video. I'm hoping this will allow me more time to record more drawings in the future. And the problem was that the chore of setting up everything just to do a video was keeping me from recording anything that I was doing in the heat of the moment. I also kind of blew my budget for the rest of the year. I'm building a new PC from ground up. The one that I had, it's 11 years old now, and it kind of started to struggle with a lot of more demanding applications that I'm using and gaming. I do game from time to time. It definitely did its job and paid for itself over the years, but time for a retirement was needed, and I was in desperate need of a new one. Here's hoping that the new one will last me for another 11 years at least. So, with this, I guess I have to mention that I might be planning to shift a little bit the main focus for my videos from reviewing fountain pens towards more sketches and drawings, but still using as main medium fountain pens. It's just that since I don't really stress myself to keep up with the latest and greatest that are out there, and I'm more interested in creating art with the fountain pens than buying the new pens and reviewing them, maybe my main focus should be more on drawings than reviewing. Now, I'm still going to talk about the fountain pens that I use, especially when I buy something new, but I'm going to start and be more selective in the pens that I buy, not spend that much on them, and I guess my portion of the videos for drawing might take a little bit a bigger footprint in the videos. Also, yes, I will be continuing to make fountain pens as time allows me to, and I will be showing them when I make after I make them here on YouTube. But I might keep that video once a week and probably shift towards a regular video for 5-10 minutes where I talk about the pens that I made that week, if any. It's either gonna be on a Wednesday or on a Sunday. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll be honest, I don't know how the whole thing is gonna go. I know I need to change something, it's just I don't know what. And hopefully I'll figure it out on the way. I hope I'm not gonna upset you guys, and I perfectly understand if it's not your thing, but I don't know. I love fountain pens, I love using them, and I'm more interested in using them than collecting them, to be honest. What do you think? I would love to hear your opinion on my thoughts and what I might be planning to do, and I'm definitely open to suggestions. And as a curiosity, why do you watch my videos, especially those of you who choose to subscribe to my channel, even though I never ask anyone to do so? What do you like in my videos? The actual review of the fountain pens or more the drawing? Or are you just bored and you just click on it just to have something to watch? Which, by the way, it's a perfect reason, sane reason as any other. I have nothing against that if that's your reason. Anyway, with that aside, let me go back and focus on this little gem that I was planning to have some fun with the Jinhao 82 fountain pen. As you see, I managed to get a few of them in my collection, and all of them were purchased from AliExpress at different price points depending on the seller or the colors that they had. I had two more in here that they did not fit on my pen rest in there, but yeah, I do have a couple of them. I noticed that some models tend to be way too expensive though because of the limited color edition. I don't know about all that, to be honest. In the end, they're all plastic, built in the same way. They just throw up some colors in there, basically. Nothing more special unless they're inlaid with gold or something like that. Anyway, what you see in front of you right now was anywhere from $5 to $6 Canadian dollars per piece with free shipping for all of them. Some of them came as a set. For example, DS3 came as a set, and the other ones were purchased as single pens from different sellers. Today, I'll probably mostly focus on these two fountain pens because, for me at least, these two seems to be the more eye-catching ones, at least based on the colors. So, bringing you in for a closer look. As you probably already know, these are pretty much copies of another famous and beloved fountain pen that is made by the seller. I may or may not have one or two of them in my collection as well. The only difference is that weight-wise, these are a little bit heavier and they do have a little bit of a better nib. And the versions that I have, they have a 14K nib on them. So the construction of the fundament is very light, very small, almost pocket size, like putting it against another fountain pen that I reviewed from Sailor. Um, Lengthwise is pretty much the same, so this is definitely pocket fountain pen territory. And the shape is more of a sub shape with flat-ended finials, which both of them are removable, and that will give you the choice to pretty much mix and match the colors of the pens as you want to. They definitely follow the same basically mantra, I guess I could call it, that Sailor has more colors and let the user pick and choose as they want to. The only difference is these are definitely more affordable to do a mix and match and color and basically buy a bunch of them. A little bit harder to do it with a Sailor, especially if you're on a tight budget. And I guess this is one of the things that made the fountain pen very popular. Plus the fact that, well, they're actually pretty well built. Going into it, top finial, it is removable. However, once you remove it, you won't remove the clip. You have to disassemble it from inside in order to remove this portion of the clip with the clip. This will only allow you to remove the finial and move it on a different fountain pen if you wish so. One thing that I noticed, you kind of have to tighten this down a little bit more securely to make sure it won't open in you. If you just tighten it down very lightly, this eventually will start to spin on you. So if you tighten it down gently, but like snug it in there. And from the finial, we have the band for the clip, which is, by the way, extremely stiff. And I mean, very stiff. Usable, but you have to fight with it. Doing the cloth test, I do fight to put it over the cloth, and this is not something very thick. And when I try and remove it, it pretty much grabs on that cloth very well, as you can probably hear it. And it could damage the pocket and it could damage the pen case you're holding it in just by the sheer pressure that it has, the clamping pressure. The cap tapers up to a middle single band. After the band tapers down to a fairly short barrel that again has no straight portions. It just tapers down all the way to the gold band and the finial on the barrel. The finial on this barrel, as an oddity, it is removable, but it's pressure fit or friction fit. Basically, it stays in there because of the friction. As you remove this, you fight a little bit with it, and at the same time, you might lose this ring. It comes out very easily, so be careful when you open it on the top of a table, so this way if this ring pops off, you won't be lost somewhere in the ground and never be found. Oddities, the basically converter pokes out of the barrel. On some models, the converter is a little bit more inside. On this model specifically, it is outside. The cap, it's a twist cap and opens in about 2 turns. The way I usually open it, as you probably see me, I do it this way. And for that, for me, this pens opens up very quickly, so I have no issues with it. Threads are nice, are smooth, and if you don't tighten it down a little bit more, this actually will open up on you. And once you remove it, you will reveal a section that usually matches the cap, but obviously, since you can change the colors, you can pretty much whatever you want. We do have a gold band between the section and the barrel. The barrel has some not intrusive threads. Actually, I find them very useful and helpful with gripping the pen. Not that the pen is slippery, but it definitely helps, at least in my case. All of them, they do come with a number 5 nib. All of my fountain pens, they do have this dual tone nib because I do like the way it looks like. And it seems that based on the color of the feed is that they do test these nibs, maybe. Or at least they do dip those feeds in the ink. I never had any issues with the number 5 Jinhao nibs. They very decent nibs, so I don't foresee any issues. But if I do, I will let you know, and I guess you will be able to see as well. Having a look inside the cap, we do have an inner liner in there and a little bit of a screw, and that you can basically unscrew it in order to remove the clip and the rest of that unit that holds on the finial of the cap. And going back to the pen, again, to open up the barrel, twist. One nice touch, we do have an O-ring on the fountain pen, which I like, and actually holds down the barrel pretty tight. I actually have to fight a little bit to open it. But once it's past that O-ring, the thread's actually pretty good and very smooth. Maybe a little bit loose, but definitely not an issue, especially with that O-ring at the end. And once you remove it, you will be greeted by a pretty tall support collar for the converter, which I like. A converter that it's actually included with a fountain pen, and in this case, it's mostly transparent because the barrel is translucent, and as such, gives a nice touch to the pen. I like it. The converter works very nicely, no issues there. Removable to be cleaned, fits in very nice, and holds in there pretty tight. And yes, the nib unit is removable as well, so this is a pretty well done and built fountain pen in my opinion. And before I forget, having a look inside the barrel, fairly smooth, well built, no issues. I like the fit and finish that it has. By the way, I'm not sure if you can see it, but these pens are actually injection molded. On some of them, you will be able to see the actual seam line when the two parts are joined. However, for the most of it, the barrels and the caps and the section are finished very well. The only places where you'll be able to see the traces of the injection molding are basically the threads, which usually are very hard to polish in order to remove that seam. In hand, as you can see, the fountain pen is fairly small, at least for my hand. I think I wouldn't be able to use it for writing and quick sketches on the go as is. I'll definitely give it a try. It's literally at the end or just below the point where the pen sits on my hand on that joint. And I don't know, I haven't used it until now, but we'll figure out how much I like it. And the balance for it, it's actually pretty good. It is definitely on my favorite side with the weight towards the nib. However, if the pen is too small for you, you can definitely post it. Post very nice, very deep, I would say, and secure. More than halfway in there. And it is very secure. This thing doesn't really wobble unless you force it to. And it does make the pen a little bit bigger, and feels comfortably in hand. And the balance unfortunately shifts because the cap is quite heavy, and it shifts above a little bit above the middle point of the fountain pen when posted. However, I think this fountain pen is okay. The weight actually rests on my knuckle in there, and I don't think I will have any issues with the fountain pen. I will most probably use it most of the time posted, but I think for quick things I should be able to use it unposted as well. I'll let you know during the final conclusions. Anyway, with that said, let me ink it up and I'll come back with a quick writing sample and then I'll dive into a sketch. For today's ink, I am using the Bamni Permanent Black Cold Barges ink. Definitely one of my favorite inks. As you probably have seen it, I have been using it lately quite a lot. And having a look at this beautiful thing, so this is Jinhao 82 fountain pen. And this nib is actually very nice. I like it, at least the copy on this pen. Fairly smooth, a little bit grabby, but not in an unpleasant way. It will be perfect for drawing, I think. And it seems to work quite nicely. Feels a little bit dry actually, but again, not in an unpleasant way. And the reverse, pretty much exactly the same width for the nib, for the line that the nib leaves behind. And just as nice, no problems in there. And the flow is just as good. Alright, so far so good. Alright, no issues with the pen, works nicely, writes nicely. The ink, it's a pretty good ink. Well, for this fountain pen, I do like it. And yeah, I mean, no complaints so far. I don't have any negative about it. The only thing that I have to do now is basically try and, well, first of all, focus on it. Second of all, I'm gonna jump into a sketch, test it for a longer period of time, and I guess I'll let you know if I have any issues with it or not. So far, one thing for sure, after the writing sample, I do definitely prefer it posted. However, as you've seen it, I can definitely use it unposted as well, but I don't think I would be able to use it for long periods of time. The drawing for today turned out a little bit interesting. I started with an idea that kind of grew into something slightly different than what I was planning. Since I was a little bit in a run for a couple of past weeks, I thought that the burnout theme was a great idea and scribbled a burnout match, do burning with intensity enveloped in blue and purple flames. It didn't turn out exactly how I was planning because those flames kept on growing and growing until pretty much it took the entire page. I kind of like the end result. I could have probably executed it a little bit better if I would have, used constraint. But in a weird way, I do like it. Curious to see what next week will bring out of me. As you will probably see, I ended using three of the fountain pens that I have, and they all performed exactly the same, even though I had different inks in them. As a fun fact, all three of them could benefit from a little bit of nib work. Ink flow was a little bit dry, but I tried to use that to my advantage and was not really that bad in the end. By the way, the inks that I have used were Waterman Tender Purple and Pelikan Photo One Turquoise. They played very nice with each other, and I really like the combo for these two colors. Gives me some ideas for other things. I don't know lately, I have really been into purple and blues. I mean, the theme of my new PC is completely based on these two colors. I might be getting the blues, I guess. The fall is coming. I guess the timing is just perfect. What do I like about the Jinhao 82 fountain pen? To keep it simple and short, it's cute, it's cheap, and it's functional. Comes with everything you need, a converter included in the price, decent number 5 nib that somehow is matching the design of the fountain pen pretty well. Good balance in hand, it posts beautifully, and for those of you who enjoy customizing your pens and playing around with colors and swapping pen parts, there are plenty of options and it seems like new ones keep on popping every week. Is there anything that I dislike about the fountain pen? There is nothing really that I dislike about it, and I mean nothing. Personally, I like everything about it. I guess the only thing that I could mention and maybe complain about it is the fact that in the end, all the nibs that I had on the pens that I try will need a little bit of work to improve the flow of the ink since they turn out to be a little bit dry. As such, overall, I really like the fountain pen, and in my opinion, Jinhao has a winner on their hands. I mean, it's not 100% their original design, and part of their success goes to Sailor as well, but they did manage to not botch it up and provide a cool little thing for cheap, literally cheap. I do recommend this over the Jinhao 80 any time of the day. In my opinion, it is a better looking pen with a lot more attention to detail put into it. And that's about it for today. A little short maybe, but not much to say about this little jewel other than it's a great little thing and I love it. Enjoy the rest of the time lapse, and if you have any other questions, like usual, leave a comment below and I will try and get to it as soon as I can. Thank you for joining me today. Hope I'll see you next time, and I wish you all the best and a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.